Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. These two are still on the leads because there's a border collie playing fetch over there. So we're going to geek out on the lie of the land today. This is the beginning of the woods, you can see the trees over there. That's the secret woods, that way. That's the non-secret woods that way. Whoops. I just let Cassie go by pointing. She's still got a lead on. Oh my God. Alright, so this is the beginning of the woods. This is the bit that gets manicured by the local authority once a year. This is about, 75 metres above sea level. But I'm not interested in how high above sea level it is. I'm interested in the difference in elevation. How is this relevant to the Wells case? Well, we're gonna see. This goes down a dip and it takes us down to the creek, which is the lowest part of this particular piece of land. And then you've got the hill there, which is about 81 metres at its highest point. It's not a big hill, but 81 metres. So if we go down here, if we keep going down and we go to the lowest part where the creek is, then I think it takes us down to 73 metres, and then it's pretty flat just around kind of this area around the bottom. It's the place where it all floods, and it all floods because you've got the land coming down like that, and then same on the other side, the land coming down. Right, come here you. That dog's gone, I think. And we're going to show how similar this is to the Wells land, the hill, and how easy it is to climb or descend hills where there's a varying amount of elevation. So this is the lowest point here. Call it 73, I think it is. To the top of the hill up there, it's 81 metres. This is the shallow side of the hill, and it rises 8 metres in only less than a minute walk. Up here. And the incline is so shallow that you don't even lose any breath. So this is the highest point of the hill. This is 81 metres. So we've come up very, very quickly from 73 to 81. But now we'll go down the steeper side of the hill. Now there's lots of trails going down here. Lots of trails. This is just one. Now remember, we're going to go down to the creek down there, which is 73 metres. This is slightly steeper, easy to walk down though. Easy to walk down here. There's, like I said, there's lots of trails all the way down. This is just one. This reminds me of the dog trail at the Wells house. I think it's got a similar incline, and it's a very quick walk down. There's no stress. It's not difficult. A 5-year-old could easily do it. Anybody could easily do it. There you go. And we're now back down to the lowest point in a sec. I mean, I'm talking about elevation today. There's more foliage on the trails in the Wells property because undergrowth doesn't grow too well at this end because this is essentially a slag heap from an old coal mine. But this is the steepest point now, so I'm at 73 metres and that's the steepest incline there. And that takes us back up to the hill to 81 metres. So it's pretty steep. Let's do it. I'm going into the secret woods in a minute. I'll let Tilly off then. But she's just behaving like an idiot. Okay. Come on. Oh, man. Well, if you weren't a fool and do your stupid barking, it wouldn't be a problem, would it? Come on. Come on, Tilly. Oh, I'm going to have to let her off. She won't walk. It's because it's prickly. It's not even that prickly. It's not even that prickly. It's the middle of winter. Would a 5-year-old attempt this? Depends how agile she was. Depends how much she liked playing on the hill. Could she have got up? Yes. Would she have gone up and down the steepest side when there were shallower options? Probably not. I guess it would depend what her brothers were doing. So here we are at the steepest point. Tilly. This is the highest point. Oh, she won't come. Come on. Come on. She's such a baby, honestly. There we go. So apart from a little bit of undergrowth there, that was very, very easy. Very easy. So I've gone up there 8 metres in elevation in a very short space of time. So now you've had the visuals, I'm going to go to Google Earth and we're going to talk about the elevation in relation to the Wells case. Okay, so now I'm at home and I'm on Google Earth Pro. Just to confirm the numbers that I gave you just a couple of hours ago for me, but a whole day for you. This, what you can see in front of you here, is the secret woods. So those are the houses that you can see on some shots. This is the wood yard, whatever they do there. Strange noises come from there sometimes. And this here is the secret woods. So this is where I walk nearly every day. The creek's in here somewhere, in these bushes. But if you look at the elevation at the bottom, that's the elevation above sea level. I'm not interested in how high we are above sea level. I'm interested in the change of the elevation. Creek's in here, and I said it was about 73. When we get to, this is where that little cute little bridge is. It's actually lower. It's actually 71 at the bridge. I thought it was 73, but anyway, 73 as we start going up the hill. When we get to the highest point of the hill, which is here, the elevation is reading as 80. I think there is a point where it gets to 81, if I remember rightly, but that's the steep side that I came up, that you saw me coming up earlier along here somewhere. So we're rising 7 metres, 8 metres. I mean, if you take it right down to the bridge, I said it was 73 at this bridge. It's actually only 70 or 71. So to go up to the top of the hill that I climbed earlier, which is this one here, we're easily rising 8 metres, right? So that's all I wanted to kind of get across, that rising 8 metres, it's not a lot. It's a gentle slope on the shallow side. It's steep on the far side here, but it's still an easy walk. What does all of this mean in relation to the Wells case? We're now going to take a trip through the sky to 110 Ben Hill Road, Rogersville, Tennessee. And here we are, as if by magic. This is going to be very familiar to people who've been looking at this scenery. I've been looking at this topography, looking at all these locations. So you can see here the Wells house, I've already put some pins in. That's Grandma's camper, and behind my pin here, this is the generator. So this is the beginning of the dog trail, and the dog trail comes down here somewhere. So let's look at the elevation. Again, I'm not interested in how high we are above sea level. We are much higher above sea level than I am in my location. You know, I was 73 to 80, 81, and this is 417 metres above sea level. If we stand on the Wells driveway, it's 416 metres. And if we go on to Beach Creek Road, it's 414, 413. So it's very uneven ground. So these are just rough estimates, because wherever I kind of click my little hand, it does vary a little bit. So first of all, you know, we've seen Don Wells walking up and down the dog trail, and it's very quick. It takes like, I don't know, a minute, less than a minute probably. You could easily run it in only a few seconds, depends how fit you are, but it's not very far, and actually it's not very steep either. So if I take a measure, it's 419 at my pin, right? So if we come down to Ben Hill Road, just going down this part here, it's actually only 2 metres. That's difficult to wrap your head around. I've got to do the conversion. So a metre is 39 inches. So it's what, 6.5 feet? That can't be right. But that's what it's telling me. At the house, it's 419. At the drive, it's 416. Now, if we do this, you can actually see why this is actually quite shallow. 419 to 417 down to 410. We've got a little dip there, and then it goes back up a little bit to Beach Creek Road. If the dog trail came down here, then that would be steeper, because I think what some people do is they stand here in the dip where it's only 410, and they look up at the house, and you think, blimey, you know, that's 8 metres. And as we've seen in my woods, 8 metres, it's 26.2 feet. I could tell, looking at this topography, I could tell based on where I walk. I live in quite a hilly area. I mean, the little woods I walk in is not very hilly compared to some areas where I live. And I could tell this really wasn't that steep. You know, Tony's looking at it, he'll think, oh my God, there's trees and there's a hill. And it's just completely, you know, unwalkable. Nonsense. Nonsense. This is the same level of elevation change as in my woods. Down at the bottom here, at the lowest point, the dip, before it starts going up into the mountain. 410 to the house, 418. 8 metres, exactly the same as what I walked this morning. If you go down here, I think that'll be where like the bus is. That's really very shallow. That's a very, very easy walk. Now, if we just take it in a bit, where you've got the driveway of the Wells property, what you can see is that the house is lower than this hilly bit. There's like a little hill on top of the hill. Can you see? And that's actually quite steep. That's the steepest part. So that takes you up to 426. So from the house, 418, up to here, 426. So that's 8 metres. So 26 feet. Additional 8 metres. The driveway is there. So you can go up the driveway that way, turn right, go over the hill, and then park your car at the house. Or you can go that way, which is less steep. 417, 418, that's pretty level. But at the top of this hill, so it's like I got a big bump. When they've taken shots, like the people who went there saying, oh, it's massively high, it's a mountain, what they've done is they've stood here, down at the bottom, where it's only 410, and they've looked up and thought, that's massive, because there, from the lowest point, 410, to the top of the hill on top of a hill is 426. So you've got 16 metres there. So that looks a lot, but it's not going down places like the dog trail or the bus trail. Very, very easy slopes. Very easy for kids to play along here. The dog trail is really no steeper. Even from the bottom, the dip here to here is only the same elevation change that I walked this morning. And I'm old, right? So kids who are fit, who are healthy, that's nothing, right? So let's look at some more location markers. So that's Jodie Sue's cabin. The reason why I've got that pinned in is just when I'm looking at where Jodie Sue was, where she might have heard the scream from. But we're not talking about the scream today, so we're not going to worry about that. So you can see that you've got the wells on a hill, and then the little hill on a hill there. Jodie Sue's property goes kind of up a hill. So we're up to 421 there. At the cabin, it's only 417. So it's the same as roughly the same as the dog trail. Beginning of the dog trail. But then it gets very steep very quickly. And that's what I want to talk about. So, what I want to talk about next. So, let's move along. And let's look at where the power lines are. If we go down here, this is what the tree trimming service keeps clear for the power lines. You can just about make them out if you squint. And there, and also up here, because the power lines have to go all the way up to Simpson Road. But this is from 2019, so they've not updated this for a couple of years. These are kept permanently clear. Alright, so this is the shed. That's Beech Creek Road. That's the shed that you saw Don Wells driving to when he retraced his steps. You can go in there. That's the creek, right? So the creek is at 411. So that's about the same as the bottom of Ben Hill Road. And then up to the driveway, 417. So again, 411 to 417, so 6 metres, and that is a very, very gentle slope. Kids wanting to come out from the house, the tree cutters have been there, so there's probably debris and, you know, probably not quite as nice as it looks here, but a very gentle slope. So very easy for a 5-year-old to walk down there, go and play. It's open, it's not scary. You could walk all around here. So, you know, Summer's scent was allegedly picked up on the dog trail. So how do we know that afternoon of the 15th of June, it was a nice sunny day, the kids were bored, Candice was asleep or otherwise engaged, and they all went to play out. The lads went on the bikes, they were down the dog trail, they were down the bus trail. You can just imagine it, can't you? Going round the drive. It's only 6 metres, elevation change. 417 to the creek, 410, 411. Just depends where I drop my little hand. So it's not very steep at all. That's a gentler elevation than I walked this morning, that you saw me walk this morning. Alright, I want to zoom out now. These markers here are roughly in the position of where the footprints, Summer's footprints, were found. At least it's a child's bare footprints. Now, the reason why we're saying possibly this is Summer's footprints is because dogs that had been given Summer's scent had alerted at these footprints. So both of these properties have got addresses on Beech Creek Road. There's one closer to the road, but these pins are not in the exact location. I don't know the exact location. I've just dropped the pins on the property markers. But these properties are like, they're big, like they've got lots of acres. So even though I've put a pin there and a pin there, the footprints could have actually been there or there. Do you see what I mean? Right, so these are just approximations. But what you can see, the footprints were up on a ridge. And you can see that this really is a ridge. So if we look at Beech Creek Road, again, it's only 405 there, but it starts to go up quite quickly. 411, 418, 421, 423, 29, 35. So this is very, very steep. Right, I'll have to do the conversion. So from the road, 404 here, that's very steep. That's gone up 40 metres. That's very steep. It's not a gentle slope like you see on the dog trail. That is very steep. If the footprints were on this property but further up, that's very steep. How would a 5-year-old barefooted child get up there on her own? How would she do that? I personally find that quite difficult to believe. An 8-metre hill, easy. A 6-metre incline, easy. 40 metres going up very steep in wooded area, not so easy. The footprints on this property are even higher, 453. So how would a child coming down here or coming down the dog trail onto Ben Hill or coming down this way and onto Simpson up this place here, how are the footprints going to get up here where it's 453 metres? From Simpson Road, 415, and then this is a very, very steep incline. 413, 414, up to 453, where these footprints are. So you're looking at 40 metres. That is rugged. I'm struggling to work out how a 5-year-old child got from there to there. It's not far in distance at all. The elevation rise is massive, 40 metres. She's not got up there on her own. What I'm interested in is how many other alerts there were, because we're hearing this from neighbours. Right, this has not come from law enforcement, this has come from neighbours who were there when the searchers were there. How many more alerts are there? How many more properties that were searched by the scent dogs? How many more are there? Now there's another marker in this file. If I just zoom out, we've got one here. Now this is what Cracking Cassie said in one of their lives only a few days ago, that there was another scent alert, a very strong scent alert down here. This is Ben Hill Road. Now again, this is easy for a child to get here, because all she would have had to do is walk off her own property, very easy descent down, walked along Ben Hill Road and gone to play here. This is a creek here. So I can see that, how she'd have gone there, but how she got up there and why over there? So even though there's not a big distance, as I said, a massive elevation change to get up there high on that ridge. Why she got there? If that's summer, if that really is summer, how she got up there? That's my question. Why a scent there? Why a scent there? And why a scent there? What direction is this in? Because we don't know whether we've gone from here to here to here to here, or we've gone from here to here to here to here. We don't know the direction of travel. It's not a long distance to walk, but it's a very, very steep incline to get up from here to here or from here to here. Now there's a cutting through there which goes up. It's a less steep incline, but still, if she'd gone from there, up there, and then up there, how? Why? And I need to know how many more alerts there've been, because people have said, well, she must have been carried. If there's a scent here and a scent here and nothing in between, she must have been carried. Well, I think she must have been carried to get up there. But how many alerts are there in between? How many times was she set down? Can't get my head round how high that is for a 5-year-old. This one easy. This one easier, especially if it was close to the road. But it's this one. And look how high this mountain is. That's something like 850 up there. I've spent a long time exploring this. lots and lots of questions. Hope this has been helpful, just to give you kind of some visuals rather than just talking about it. I thought just do a video with all the visuals in. I understand that some people would have just switched off and thought it was really boring, but we've got to look at this if you want to understand this particular theory and the likelihood that this particular theory has got merit. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I've been Michelle. I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next video.